Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Oh god, a bunch of dyes and chemicals. I'm assuming. So, hey guys, Dr. Living Good gave a subscribe preemptive like 15 American foods that are banned in Europe. Oh boy, let's go.
Hey, it's Dr. Living Good. I'm in my kitchen in the US of A, and there's foods I could bring into this kitchen I could get from a local grocery store right around the corner here in North Carolina that I couldn't get
Preservatives?
if this kitchen existed in other parts of the world. A bunch of foods today that might be in your kitchen that literally you cannot have in places like Canada or Europe. It's insane that I even have to make this video, but it is 100% true. There are so many ingredients in the United States that are banned from consumption because they're found to be harmful to human beings in other parts of the world. But our FDA turns the blind eye. I'm going to expose them for you right now. First one up.
I'm sure he's not going to go into it, but I would love to see a video about the FDA's reasons for allowing it here when it's not allowed elsewhere, you know?
Farm-raised salmon. I have an entire video breakdown of this, by the way. It's in the description. You can check that out. But the pink color of a fish, they did a massive study on it showing that a gray fish is just not that appealing. It doesn't stand out that much, but a pink one, you can double the sales, at least if it's pink. We have to add chemicals to the food of the fish in order for the flesh to turn pink unless it is wild caught. That petrochemical is banned in places like New Zealand and Australia. You literally can't eat a lot of the farm-raised salmon found in our grocery stores in those countries.
These are the ones that I really don't like because, you know, a lot of people say you eat with your eyes, and I get what you mean, and I would love for my food to look as appetizing as possible, but the moment you introduce something to make it more appetizing, it is that's not a normal food ingredient, is where I pause and I get a little angry because I would love to look at my food and be more attracted to eating that food. Is attracted the right word? For it to be more appetizing to me, right? But the moment you introduce something that, even if it doesn't have a known negative effect, is where I get a little upset because I care about more how it tastes. I like how it looks, but don't introduce some weird chemical into it to make it look better, even if it has no immediate known threat to it. Just please.
Number 2 is dairy with the hormones, RBST or the RBGH hormones that are found oftentimes in our milk and milk-based products in the United States. Stimulates milk production. That's why it's added to it, so they can get more out of those cows. 30 to 40 years ago, 9,000 pounds of milk produced per year. Cows in today's world, 17,000 pounds of milk produced per year.
Per cow?
Hormones are generating a lot of that. I get it. My grandfather was a dairy farmer. I'm not trying to rag on the farmers. However, that chemical, that hormone, is not allowed in Canada and many European unions. Mountain Dew might not make it in other countries, or if they make it, they have to literally change the formula.
What did it go from? 17.
Can get more out of those. Cows 30 to 40 years ago, 9,000 pounds of milk produced per year. Cows in today's world, 17,000 pounds of milk.
Oof. About double. And so the fact that Europe sees that you can get double the amount of milk per cow and still say no makes it all the more worrying.
Produced per year, hormones are generated. European make it, they have to nominate change.
Oh, sorry.
That hormone is not allowed in Canada and many European unions. Mountain Dew might not make it.
I also hear that cows produce less milk. I learned about this, I think, with the Salmonella video about Castro from Cuba. He loved ice cream, I hear. And there'd be a problem, and they had to make a hybrid cow, a hybrid between the more, classic to me, black and white cow, with a more southern variant of cow that produces less milk. And so you could get kind of the best of both worlds of having a cow that could live in the climate of Cuba, but still be able to produce the milk. And so I'm wondering if you're already a very cold country, then if you would ever need these types of extra producing milk things. You know what I mean?
Other countries, or if they make it, they have to literally change the formula because it contains brominated vegetable oil. Brominated vegetable oil contains bromine, which has been linked to brain and memory issues. It's also a flame retardant. So Japan said nope, banned, as well as many in the European Union. Yet we're good here with the Mountain Dew. Little Debbie Swiss rolls. Listen, I had some of these when I was a kid. It's not that I've never eaten these foods, never drinking a Mountain Dew, or never eaten toxic dairy. However, I try to avoid all these things in the Living Good Kitchen now. They are not allowed. They're also not allowed in a lot of countries. Little Debbie rolls contain food colorings, specifically yellow number 5 or red number 40. Now, those are allowed in European unions, but they come with a black box warning, just like a drug would. They can have adverse reactions with children, specifically with allergies and attention deficit disorders. So they're at least acknowledging that, which is well-known research material. And it's the number one thing I advise parents to wean their kids off of is these dyes to help them focus better, so they listen better. I got 3 little ones, so I know how that goes. But there are no domestic warnings about that product at all, although other countries are saying, hey, pay attention because something's not right here. Your fast food.
Okay, so there are 2 reasons that I see a country not allowing a certain type of food or preservative or chemical in their foods in their country, all right? There are only 2 options I can see for the reasoning. One is you disagree with other countries about the adverse effects that you found scientifically and disagree with them. The other reason, which I'd imagine is a more common reason, is that businesses in some countries are able to push enough power that although there might be some risks, they're allowed to still produce it because of some like business power they have through like business money and donations and whatnot. And so those are the 2 reasons. I tend to think that the second option is a more common one, but I don't have much evidence to back that up.
Food breakfast sandwich. Maybe it's toast sticks, like you're getting something from Arby's, or you're getting a breakfast sandwich from McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. A lot of those use a dough conditioner called azodicarbonamide. That dough conditioner and a whitening agent found in a lot of baked goods has been banned in multiple other countries, including Europe, because it has been linked as a carcinogen. Next up, Frosted Flakes, Honey Bunches of Oats, Rice Krispies. The cereals more than likely wouldn't make it. These cereals don't cut it in Japan and the European Union, or their formulas need to be changed because they contain oftentimes a flavor enhancer called BHT. It has carcinogenic properties, so it is off the shelf in those countries, but prevalent here. Coffee Mate. Your coffee creamer probably wouldn't make it in countries like Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, Ireland, Norway, Denmark, because of the trans fats, toxic hydrogenated. I teach about this all the time, multiple videos on this. Soybean oils, cottonseed oils, there are limits in those countries, thank God, on these trans fats because they pile up in your system, they congest your cells. They are one of the leading causes of inflammation and cholesterol problems. In the United States, they are free to be used and actually promoted in a lot of cases. Yet in those countries, they've wisened up to incredible dangers, almost more and arguably more dangerous than sugar and our insulin problems in the United States.
Okay, I'm not susceptible to that. I drink my coffee black 95% of the time. Not because I like the taste of black coffee better than I like the taste of coffee with cream and sugar. I don't. It's just that I drink coffee for the pure reason of caffeine and to get more, to wake up more, you know? And so there's something about the bitter taste of black coffee that kind of helps that along even more because I know that, is that psychotic? Am I a psychopath? I drink, again, 95% of my coffee is black coffee because whenever I'm really thirsty, I don't crave something like a coffee, you know? I crave water, maybe soda sometimes. But yeah, so
it's free for
I'm
all
not
here. Your coffee
susceptible to that one.
Stovetop stuffing. It's true. If it contains the ingredients, if yours contains, because all, some of the formulas are different, BHA or BHT, it's going to be banned. Japan's going to get rid of it. United Kingdom's going to get rid of it. Many European countries are going to get rid of it because they don't allow those ingredients that are linked to cancer. Stovetop stuffing. There goes Thanksgiving. Skittles.
I have heard this one before, that Skittles aren't great. I mean,
no more tasting the rainbow. California is actually looking at passing laws to ban Skittles. Red number 5, 6, yellow number 5, yellow number 6, red 40. These are known to have a lot of adverse effects, especially in children. They're little sugar bombs. They're diabetes in a bag anyway. And European unions are putting warnings on them, and they're completely banned altogether in Norway and Austria. Skittles, you can still taste the rainbow in the United States, but no rainbows elsewhere. Wheat Thins. I grew up eating these things depending on the formula.
Wheat Thins? I thought they were healthy.
The bag or the box you get could also...
Oh, wait. I was thinking of Wheaties. Jesus.
Also contain BHT, again, banned in Japan and a lot of those European nations. Gatorade. Literally Gatorade. If it has yellow number 5, yellow number 6, it's going to carry the warning in European nations. And then in places like Norway and Austria, they're going to say no.
Damn, yellow Gatorade was always my favorite growing up. That's not good news.
Way you can quench your thirst with just water or maybe add some electrolyte powder to it, but no food dyes because we care more about our kids. Pop-Tarts. Grew up eating them.
Yeah, I love water. I love a carbonated drink, which is why I love soda a lot, like after a big meal. But, seltzer or carbonated water, fizzy water, whatever you would call it, I love. And so that's a great alternative for me to avoid more soda than I would drink otherwise, is sparkling water. Like this, for instance. Good. I have an unopened can right here. Seltzer. Love it. There's something about that fizziness that I just really crave sometimes. And I'm really glad I have that alternative.
But again,
unless he brings up, he's gonna watch this with my luck. He's gonna bring up Poland seltzer.
Have those coloring.
I just said Poland seltzer. Sorry, polar seltzer, not Poland.
Yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40. We're feeding these to our kids and we're wondering why they're struggling at school.
One of the biggest bummers to me about this video is that a lot of these carcinogens or just bad reasons have to do with food dye. And so it doesn't have anything. There's something I can at least see some reason to do it, like having cows produce more milk. I'm not defending it. I don't know enough about it to defend it or not want it. But for like cows producing more milk or preservatives, right? I see the reason for them. But when it comes to stuff that are really bad for you, that are just for aesthetic reasons, oh, I don't like it.
Cool. And then we want to get them a medication because they can't pay attention. Yet we fed them banned ingredients in the morning. If they were to live in other countries, they would never have the chance to get that. My Lucky Charms. I grew up all.
So overrated. I always hated Lucky Charms ever since I was a little kid. And the mushrooms is the mushrooms. Jesus Christ. The marshmallows. Poland, mushrooms. Jesus. The marshmallows, I never liked. It was too sugary for me, even when I was a little kid. But yeah. So.
Also eating some of these, maybe that's, I don't know, could explain some things with Dr. Living Good. But the Lucky Charms, definitely not allowed. Over in Ireland, they're going to have labels.
Over in Ireland, that's ironic.
Over there, even though it's an Irish-based cereal or pretends to be.
Yeah,
because
leprechaun.
of their additives, yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40, they're going to have the warning labels on there. And they know what it does to children, let alone allergies. It can create hives and actually cause you to break out. Those colorings can, if ingested. So other countries are going to say, we're going to protect our people from those.
We're good.
Tostitos, con queso. Tostitos and the cheese dip. Yup. If it's got the yellow 5, if it's got the yellow 6, it's going to be banned in European countries. They're going to specifically going to be booted from Norway and Austria, and the other ones are going to put a label on it that says this might not be a good idea. Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers have
I think I've also heard this one, which is a shame because Ritz crackers are delicious.
trans fats in them, cottonseed oil. It's going to be banned in Switzerland, Austria, Norway, Hungary. They're going to say...
Now that I think about it, Ritz crackers really feel like when you taste them, they feel like you got a super little sand pebble sized piece of dough and then just a piece of butter and then baked it. That's what they feel like. Not just taste like, but feel like when you bite into them.
We got to give a warning label at least on this thing, but we just let those freely flow in the United States, and they're so dangerous. Fresca. You remember this? I had this growing up as a kid, grapefruit flavored. It's going to contain BDO.
Lemon lime.
Again, it's going to be that bromine, and that is a no-no, especially...
Well, Fresca is a throwback. I only ever had Fresca because I remember one of my friends in my neighborhood growing up, my close friends, and would have Fresca often in his fridge that was in his garage, and we drink it, and I loved it. But that was a throwback to me right there, mentioning Fresca.
Pillsbury biscuits. Woo-hoo! No, when it
I love how he made kind of the noise.
comes to Europe, it's not going to happen because so many of them contain those trans fats, hydrogenated soybean oil specifically.
I'm sure a big reason to a lot of this stuff is that a lot of countries in Europe, like for France, for example, I believe have subsidization for some of their more healthy foods. And so in America, where it's purely business oriented, right? Then you're going to try and find more shortcuts. But if you have more subsidization, then you're going to have less need to do that. Where America is just so hyper focused towards the business, and therefore make money, that it doesn't surprise me that there are a lot of these things that seem like they could easily be told, like, no, you can't do that. But because of the environment of business and culture of business through the history of the USA, you can't just tell a business no as easily as you could some in Europe.
Biscuits known to be linked directly to heart disease. Looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy's having some heart issues. Not a good food to have in your kitchen.
Them, that's why.
Sun-kissed soda. Yep. Yellow number 6, red number 40 found in that. Obviously the band's...
Okay, so drinks that are yellow and red, especially a vibrant yellow and red, I guess you should just stay away from them.
In Europe. Betty Crocker fudge brownie mix. I used to eat a half a pan of those at a time. Bad idea for the...
Half a pan?
Oxidation, clogging, congestion, and metabolism of my body because they usually contain partially hydrogenated soybean or cottonseed oil, toxic, banned in European nations, trans fats. Pillsbury pie crust also contain
the trans fats.
Partially hydrogenated soybean or cottonseed oil, toxic, banned in European nations, trans fats.
So I'm trying to find the difference between the reasoning for some of these with some that are normal foods and maybe in moderation are okay. But if you have too much of them, then they're like seen as a health hazard. And then some other things where you have, for instance, like food dye, where you have these chemicals that aren't good. And so with stuff like the brownies, I'm sure even if they had, no chemical or anything added, they're already super unhealthy just because of the amount of fats and trans fats that... Are trans fats always bad? That might be the case, actually.
Pillsbury pie crust.
Oh, God.
Also contain the BHA and the BHT that's going to put the ban on them in the countries overseas. Raspberry Jello. Also going to contain the red
dye.
Where do you think it gets that color from? The Jiggly Jello is going to be a no-no, especially in Norway and Austria. Banned. And not only banned, when I say that, illegal to give to people because it makes them sick and it hurts them. Yet we freely let the JELLO go in the States. High fructose corn syrup, thank God other countries at least warn against it. This is a really bad idea. That feels a lot like smoking many years ago, and it took getting the guy to the point of we have to warn people about this to get more and more people to stop ingesting it, taking it in. High fructose corn syrup is...
I just say those are some of the greatest pancakes and most amazing blueberries I think I've ever seen. I'm just shocked by that alone.
And more people to stop ingesting it.
Oh God, did they add dyes to the blueberries?
Taking it in. High fructose corn syrup is kind of like that. European nations are ahead of it and giving the warnings to their people to protect them. So a lot of common ingredients with these foods, you can avoid them. You can
Red
make
and yellow
better
dye.
decisions if you need help with it. To make food simple, there's a link for my free book below. And if you want to go further into this on foods that you thought were healthy, not the obvious ones like I said here, but actually aren't, check out this next video.
The one, I guess, saving grace, not much, but is that we do have, like, I'm sure many companies in America would love if they could tell, like, people like this guy to be like, stop talking, shut up. But at least we have that where we can tell people, like, hey, these are banned in other countries. We can't do it because of the business environment, likely the business environment in our country. But just letting you know that that is the case. I guess that's a saving grace there. That rhymed. Love you all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below. These videos are fascinating and very, I learn a lot when I watch them. So hope everyone's doing well. See you guys next time, hopefully. Bye, guys.